That's on.
We live?
We're live.
We're live?
That's recording.
Yes?
Yeah, whenever you want to go.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the inaugural...
First ever
podcast.
I'm excited.
Tandem Stance. For the most part, it's going to be just keeping it real. As you listen to the podcast and as we go on, people are going to figure out the structure. But for now, kind of go over it so people know. Typically, we're going to be talking about some healthcare-related topics. Me and Kyle graduated last year from the University of Scranton with our doctoral degrees in physical therapy. I feel, we've both been out about a year working. So we're just going to talk about some healthcare stuff, keeping it real.
For the most part. Today we might not have... We're winging it a little. This is our first ever time.
I feel like we're pretty good at keeping it real,
I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine.
I think we'll just be A-okay. And then we'll talk about some sports stuff. We're both pretty big UFC, boxing fans, wrestling fans, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe some current topics. Talk about what the hell's going on in the world.
Let's get into it.
In this crazy world we live in with these crazy people.
America.
And it just so happens to be 4th of July weekend.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Happy 4th of July weekend. So, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself, Kyle? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up right here. As you can see,
where are we?
We are in South Plainfield, New Jersey.
We're in a basement.
This is in my basement. This is Kyle's basement. Grew up South Plainfield, high school here. After graduated high school, went to the University of Scranton undergrad, got my bachelor's degree, exercise science, right into PT school in Scranton. That's where I ran into this guy. Became friends through some circumstances that we'll get into, I'm sure.
Ooh, there were some circumstances, weren't there? There were some circumstances.
Putting it lightly. Yeah, graduated with doctorate last year. I moved down to Long Beach Island, living the dream, work, sleep, exercise, and just trying to have a good time, man.
Yeah. Same kind of deal. I grew up in Clark Summit, which is where I work now. Went to Bloomsburg on a scholarship for soccer. Got my master's at Bloomsburg. Then ended up going to the University of Scranton, get my doctorate in PT. Now I work in Clark Summit as a PT. That's really it. I kind of do the same thing. I work out.
Our lives sound boring that way.
Our life sounds pretty boring when you put it that way, doesn't it?
But they're not.
Wow, that was a lot more boring than I figured it would be when I said it in my head.
You know what's not boring?
What's not boring?
True Detective.
How dark is that opening?
No, I did not like.
How dark is that opening, bro?
I didn't like the first episode. I didn't like the first episode. I don't even like the opening in general. The intro.
You don't like the song,
dude? From the moment it came on, honestly, I'm like, oh, not for me. And I think it's because I'm expecting it to be the first season, which it's not. And that intro turned me off, and then the whole show is slow. I don't know what's going on. I don't care what's going on.
See, you're making a very common mistake that I think a lot of people are making. And because, at work, that's all you talk about. Hey, did you see True Detectives? Did you see True Detectives? That's what everybody asks.
Yeah.
Everybody says, oh, it's not like the first season, but it's not supposed to be like the first season. Like, I'm pretty sure, they're two totally different things. They're two totally different stories.
I don't think you can watch that first episode and be like, that was good TV.
It was a setup episode.
But there's only 8 episodes. We're a quarter of the way in.
I know, we are a quarter of the way in.
You're a quarter of the way through. I mean, I'll granted that last episode, and if you haven't seen it, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Colin Farrell gets shot at the end.
Which I have a huge problem with for a couple things.
He was the only character I liked.
Well, I have a huge problem with it because if he lives, it takes away the integrity of the show because have you ever shot a shotgun before?
No. And I think the girl shot him.
Oh, could be. But have you ever shot a shotgun?
No.
Okay. So I have. Grew up hunting. You can't get shot from 10 feet away with a shotgun and then shot with close range and actually live. It's impossible. So it takes away a little of the integrity away from the show. I'm saying if he lives.
I don't.
And he also, you can't really kill off.
You can though. There's 4 of them.
I know, but
and that's the thing with TV shows that you don't. The reason you if he wasn't a main actor, you'd be like, all right, he might die. But it's Colin Farrell. I don't know. It's Colin Farrell. Maybe you can kill off Colin Farrell.
Can you?
It's not Matthew McConaughey.
So.
You're not killing off McConaughey.
McConaughey was good.
All right,
those episodes, are those
It made me like the first season so much more. It's good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I compared it to the third Batman movie. The Dark Knight was really good with the Joker.
Oh, that was the best.
And when the third one came out, I'm like, this isn't that good. But it was good. It just wasn't as good as the second one.
Are you talking about the one with Bane?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the Joker was definitely better.
So that's my comparison. You can't judge it by the last season because you're right. It's not.
But I will tell you, Matthew McConaughey in that role. I went back and rewatched it before
the first season.
I went back and rewatched season 1 before I watched season 2. Again, not that you had to see season 1 before you saw season 2, but seeing it again and being able to pay attention to all the close little details. I mean, talk about the best. I mean, that might be the best acting ever.
I liked it too because they had McConaughey's character was like a character I liked. He said some fucking weird shit. First curse. We were discussing whether we should curse on the podcast, and
I said yes, but
we're going to limit it. But I mean, if we're on a topic that's professional, I doubt I will, slip up like I just did. But
we'll give you a pass.
When we're talking about joint mobs
but we're talking about True Detective.
Gate deviations. Yeah, we are talking about True Detective.
But he was a great character, though. I mean, he did some pretty crazy. I mean, in my opinion, and we're both watched a significant amount of TV, probably too much. We both watched way too much TV and way too many movies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we see a lot of stuff. I think, in my opinion, personally, that was the best acting that I've ever seen. A singular.
That brings up
character.
a good question. The best acting you've ever seen.
Matthew McConaughey in True Detectives. I said it about a year ago when I first saw it.
Best acting you've ever seen. I have to actually think about that for a second.
That and Christian Bale in American Psycho. Probably.
Bro, no. It's just because you are the American Psycho.
Dude, how can you say no? I mean, they're both great, but
I'm trying to look back, and that's a hard question because it's opinion, obviously. But I would say,
right. Well, it's completely.
I wouldn't argue with so. So I would never shoot you down and be like, yeah, that's a stupid thing. That's
well, you can't. It's subjective. There's no way to measure.
Yeah. Yeah. But if I was sitting here and I'm saying, fucking Lindsay Lohan is. I'm gonna work on that. If I sit here and say Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls is the best acting you've ever seen, you wouldn't be like, what's your opinion? You might be right. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're an idiot, and you're wrong, and I don't respect your opinion.
She was good in that movie, though.
No. But so there is to an extent. I would say. I mean, I love DiCaprio.
All right, well then give me an example that you would say is the best. You can't use mine.
I don't want to bring it back. I mean, Heath Ledger's Joker's good. You can watch that.
That was a good.
You can watch that, and you're looking. You watch it and be like, all right, I know this is a movie. I'm gonna look for the actor acting.
So that's what you look for when you look for movies.
Well, if I've seen it a bunch of times, like sometimes you can you see okay, that's Johnny Depp dressed up as a pirate, But
I never saw those movies.
I watched the first one.
I can't.
And I don't even know how old I was.
I'm just not into it. I've tried a million times.
And it's not. It's not like you're missing out on much. I don't think anyone's.
No.
You're not missing out on much. But you watch that movie, you cannot see Heath Ledger as the Joker. DiCaprio in Django or Django, whatever.
I believe the D is silent.
The D is silent.
It's Django.
It's Django.
How about Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street?
Good, but again, I guess I just liked his character better in Django, which makes me sound racist because I don't.
Is he a huge racist?
Because he's a huge slave. But I'm not saying no. I like how he played that fictional character like that, like the Wolf of Wall Street guy. I know that. You can run into that guy. You're not running into the guy from Django.
You do bring up a good point with that, actually.
Other than that, I'm trying. I think.
How about TV shows? Let's not do movies. Let's do shows.
In shows, no.
Because typically,
Breaking Bad comes to mind.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
And Aaron Paul. Dude, Aaron Paul. I'm surprised he's not in more.
Heisenberg.
He's awesome. Cranston's awesome.
His transformation from chemistry teacher to just
did you grow
badass.
Up? Did you watch Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes. So it was hard to take me. Actually, yes, and it was impossible for me to take him serious at first. But then,
and that's why it's so good. It's like because I know for those of you who haven't seen Malcolm in the Middle, it's an old comedy with Frankie Muniz. It was not a sitcom, but about a family opposite of Breaking Bad, almost about as much as you can get, especially his character in that. But I mean, that's what I knew him as. Like, this is the dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, but then by episode 2 or 3, you completely forget that he's a dad from Malcolm in the Middle, and now he's just Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad. He's just
awesome.
Heisenberg.
And Aaron Paul. I mean, he's good now. And he was, I didn't know him beforehand.
I read that they were actually going to, he was only signed on for one season. He was supposed to be killed off.
Kill him.
And then everybody just loved him so much that they just kept him on.
That's when you know you're good.
Yeah, that's when you know that you're a boss.
Which has got to be weird for you as an actor. Like, think of it, you're at work, like, we don't have that in our lives. Like, you're like reading the script, like, oh, we're killing you off this season.
Yeah. You're so insignificant that you're just going to be, you're only going to play 3 episodes. Or even if you were.
Well, I heard at the end, the bald guy in that show, I don't know the actor's name. But,
oh, his brother-in-law?
Yeah, he wanted to be killed off earlier because he's like, I need to get another job. Like, can't you kill me off? Like, he wanted it. Like, he didn't want out. I'm sure they knew the show was coming to an end.
How about that moment where him and Heisenberg are in the garage?
Tread lightly.
That's it. Yeah. That might be one of the scariest. I think I had goosebumps. My hands were sweaty watching.
If I was, and this isn't a bad segue right here. If I was a UFC fighter, like that's what if I was Aldo talking to McGregor, that's what I would have said. I would tread lightly.
I am so happy that you just brought
Let's
that
get
up.
into this because this is our jam. I mean, we love TV. We follow a bit of everything, but Josh, he's fought in MMA. I've been following it for a while. We love talking about it. It's a great sport. I mean, I think it gets a bad rep sometimes, but I think that's ending.
It gets a bad rep as being barbaric, but I think the more people learn about the sport and find out what goes into it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people who
they're world class. I mean, we're talking about world class athletes. We're not talking about athletes. I mean,
oh yeah.
Let's take Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo. They're not fighting anymore.
The NFL is the only thing I'd be like, maybe those athletes are a little better, as far as like the most elite American athletes.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's just pick one division. I'm just going to pick the featherweight division because Jose Aldo and Conor McGregor are in the featherweight division. So you have Jose Aldo, who is a professional soccer player, okay, is the UFC champion featherweight. Okay, let's take the top 4 guys in that weight class behind him. Frankie Edgar, All-American wrestler, okay, UFC champion. Chad Mendes, 2-time All-American wrestler.
Right, and he's fighting McGregor.
Now, but he was an All-American college, 2-time All-American, fought Aldo, kind of a fluke. Do you remember that knockout? It's kind of a fluke with literally a second to go in the first round. Yeah. Okay, then you've got Uriah Faber. Another 2-time All-American from the University of California, Santa Barbara.
I used to like him, but I mean, I remember Faber was one of the earlier guys, and I started getting into it. I remember it was Faber versus Aldo, WEC at the time.
Yeah, World Extreme Cage Fighting back in the day.
Before
the blue cage and the blue mat.
Which was always owned by the UFC, I think. That was like their, or did they buy them out?
It was Zuffa owned. Zuffa owned.
So it was
WEC and the UFC, then they merged.
Yeah, it was just different division. I mean, they had some division carryover, but regardless, whatever. When Aldo fought him, I'm watching this like a Faber. I knew the name. I'm like, this guy's gonna. And Aldo turned his legs into Jello.
Yeah, but that's why Aldo is so good, and that's why Conor McGregor shouldn't have even been. He should have never gotten this fight to begin with, ever.
He
beat Dennis Seaver, a guy who, as soon as testosterone replacement therapy became illegal in the UFC, he had to stop taking his testosterone. He's only 40 years old. He didn't need it. He just was cheating. It was his worst performance of his career. He only beat Dennis Seaver. Diego Brandao. He's got Chad Mendes, Uriah Faber, Cub Swanson.
I agree with you.
He's 2 or 3 fights away from the belt. Period.
I agree with you, but like we're talking about the fight game, which is I guess it's probably more than 50% what you do in the ring, but you got to sell yourself.
Like Chael Sonnen.
Like your boy Chael.
His typical or his quote is, "If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense."
Who are McGregor's losses to?
That's what the fight should be based on. It doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Right,
So
and that's the
fights?
fight game, and the UFC is still good. You still get the fight. Like, this isn't a bad... Like, McGregor, Aldo, like, you can say, does Frankie Edgar, does Mendes deserve to be there more? Probably. But are you
Not
sitting
probably.
there saying McGregor... I'll put... Okay. They deserve to be there more than McGregor, but that's not... McGregor still deserves to be there. He still deserves to... Like, you can be upset that the other two aren't there, but I don't think you can be upset McGregor got picked. You know why he got picked.
Frankie Edgar beat BJ Penn twice.
This is going to be the biggest fight. I mean, still.
Beat Benson Henderson 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just it's hard
But
for
Frankie
me to...
Edgar's have been there, done that. Been there, done that. Oh,
Yeah.
who's fighting?
Well, he doesn't
Frankie
make as
Edgar?
much money as Conor McGregor does. Like, for
You
that
gotta remember,
fight.
McGregor's so good at what he does that this fight's still going to be, I would say, top 10 gates or whatever you want, however they calculate that.
They usually do it by pay-per-view buys and then tickets
And
sold.
tickets, this is gonna be top 10, and the champion's not even in it. People are still going to get it to see McGregor.
It was.
And they got so excited for Al. They're still going to do it, though.
It was going.
You
to
think
be
it's going to
top
fall
10.
off?
Yeah, I think substantially.
I don't know.
Anytime there's an interim belt, which this is now called the interim belt, and whenever Jose Aldo comes back, he's going to be fighting for the unified belt, so to speak. Kind of like Kane just did with Verdum.
Oh, Kane, I don't want to get started.
I didn't want to get started on that one.
Kane's my boy. He's my boy.
I almost cried when he got when I saw him tap, like I had to fight back tears from coming down my face. That was heartbreaking.
That's how you say it, Verdum. Am I saying it right?
You are saying it right.
Ugliest guy in the UFC.
Verdum?
Dude, looks like
He's a beast, man.
He's a Mongol.
He's a beast.
Like, yeah, he's like a guy back in the day when you're fighting, and it's like, there's the big, goofy-looking dude that swings like a giant stone fucking hammer and messes you up.
He's the guy who tapped out
Does
Fedor.
not look like a martial artist. That's judging based on, I'm judging based on looks here. No.
He's the guy that submitted Fedor in Strikeforce. You remember when Fedor was 52-0, never lost?
Yeah. That's right when I started getting...
Which I'm pretty sure a lot of those fights were fixed, now that I think of it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You don't go 52-0 and then all of a sudden your first legitimate guy taps you out in 2 minutes into the first round.
Yeah, what a class.
A no-name, too. Because Verdum was a no-name at that time. I mean, that was back. Jeez, what is it, 2015?
How is Kane losing? That's embarrassing. And it just shows you, I think, how dominant... oh, man. I can't be spacing on this name. Just got suspended.
A lot of people just got suspended. They're randomly out of competition drug testing people now for steroids. A lot of people are getting popped.
Yeah, but this is the guy. Heavyweight. Anthony Johnson.
He's not a heavyweight.
Not Anthony Johnson. He's going to fight Anthony Johnson. Light heavyweight.
John Jones.
John Jones. Dude, that's bad. Spacing on that name. John Jones.
You just spaced on John Jones?
Yeah, because he's irrelevant right now.
He's completely irrelevant. You know what's funny? He's
He's
so irrelevant at this point that... That's pretty good justification, actually. Like, nobody even talks about him now. He was the pound-for-pound best fighter in the UFC. Youngest UFC champion ever. Probably the best fighter out there by far. I mean, Anderson Silva wanted no part of it. They were talking about all those super fights and whatnot. People didn't even want to. I mean, people...
Is he coming back, UFC? What's he got to do? Jump through?
Who knows? Well, first off, he's got to not go to jail.
Yeah, but, I mean, he won't go to jail.
He might. He ran over a pregnant woman, dude.
Did he?
And then ran from the scene.
That's bad then?
For those who don't know, that are just tuning in for the first time, or don't know anything about the UFC, John Jones is a 205-pound light heavyweight champion of the UFC. He was in a rental car, went through a red light, T-boned a car with a lady who was 6 months pregnant, ran from the scene, ran back to the car, grabbed a handful of cash, and then ran away again. When the cops came to the car, there was condoms, marijuana pipe.
Now,
it's like, wow, dude. Like, I'm telling you, he might go to jail. There's a chance he may actually go to jail.
But I like how you included in there the bad things with condoms. The condom is a good thing to find.
It means he's using protection.
Yeah, he's a smart man.
He's a smart man.
If anything else, He's the wherewithal.
If there's a silver lining in that story.
The John Jones seed isn't spreading yet, but I like to see those kids. They're probably going to be athletic.
Super freaks.
His family's
super freaks.
Freak athletes.
How about that family? You've got, and I'm going to blank on his brother's names.
I don't know his brother's names. I know one to Syracuse.
So you got John Jones, who's the youngest, who's UFC champion. Not anymore because he got suspended. But then you've got both his brothers, who are both in the NFL. So that family of three, it was a family, mom and dad, and then 3 boys. Those 3 boys, 2 of them are professional football players. They start, and then one of them is UFC champion.
The best.
Best
we've seen yet.
What's up with those genes, man?
I don't know. I don't know if his dad was famous or not.
I think his dad ate his Wheaties,
I think, yeah. Well, give some credit to Mom.
Yeah.
Give some credit to Mom. Dads always get the credit.
They do, which is unfair.
Half comes from Mom. We're going to take a brief pause because I think we've got to fix this behind us, but we will be right back.